Shanti, good morning. Hope my voice is audible. So today we will be
Yeah, your voice is audible.
yeah, thanks brother. So today we will be studying the Murli of 25th of November 1985. The Murli title is Signs of Victorious Jewels whose intellects have faith. So two things if you split the title, Baba has mentioned about the victorious jewels. And the second aspect is intellect having faith. So we having faith in Baba, in whatever faith Baba will be referring us in the Murli, that would make us victorious. And if we are victorious, what would be the signs? So interesting Murli. The Murli will be in two parts. So the main part of the signs of the victorious jewels will be reading today, and tomorrow it will be mainly Baba meeting different groups. So let us all victorious jewels listen to Baba's Murli. Today, Bab Dada is seeing his rosary of the victorious jewels, whose intellects have faith. Each child believes himself or herself to have firm faith. Scarcely any of you would not believe this. If you ask anyone if his intellect has faith, his response would be, how can I be a Brahma Kumar or Kumari if I don't have faith? In response to the question of the faith, you would all say, yes, I have faith. We could say that the intellect of everyone sitting here has faith. Could we not? Or those who feel that they are still developing faith, raise your hands. All of your intellects have faith. Okay. If all of you have firm faith, why is then there a number in the rosary of victory? Hmm? So let us pause here. So first Baba mentions that every one of us have faith. And if we read these statements, this uh, se- seems to be so simple that no one would deny that we don't have faith in Baba. But then he is relating that faith to the rosary. And he's asking the question, if we all have firm faith, then why is then there a number in the rosary of victory? So Baba is assuming that if we have faith, then there should be no number. But if there is number, then there is something else. Then what is that something else? Let us explore. So I'll repeat the statement. Okay, if all of you have firm faith, why is then there a number in the rosary of victory? In terms of faith, everyone has the same answer. Then why is there a number? There is a difference in being one of the eight, one of the 100, and one of the 16,000. What is the reason for this? There is so much difference in the praise and worship of the eight special deities and the rosary of 16,000. You have the faith that the Father is the same and that all of you belong to the One. Then why is there this difference? Can there be a percentage in your intellects having faith? If there is a percentage in your faith, would that be called faith? Hmm? So interesting question by Baba. But why Baba is relating having faith to being in rosary, being in different rosary beads. As per Baba's statements, it seems that if one has faith, then there should be no numbers in the rosary. So that is why he's asking us multiple times, if the faith doesn't have percentage, because if it has percentage, that means we don't have faith. So if we are telling that we have faith, that means we have 100%. So why isn't that we all are 100% in our rosary? So let's say what Baba says. You would say that the intellects of the eight jewels have faith and the intellects of the 16,000 also have faith. Would you not? The sign of your intellect having faith is victory. So now Baba is coming to the main point, that in spite of we having faith, what signs would we carry? This is why there is the praise, those whose intellects have faith are victorious. So, to have faith means that you are victorious. It is not possible for you to have victory at some times and not at other times. No matter what the circumstances are, the children whose intellects have faith would always experience victory over the circumstances on the basis of the power of their own stage. Repeat, no matter what the circumstances are, the children whose intellects have faith would always experience victory over the circumstances on the basis of the power of their own stage. Those who have become victorious jewels, that is, those who have become beads of the rosary of victory and the garland around the neck, can never be defeated by Maya. Even if people of the world and those in connection or a relationship with the Brahman family believe and say of someone that they have been defeated, that defeat is not defeat. Interesting. So, what is Baba telling, that those who have faith, those who are victorious jewels, they can never be defeated by Maya. Even if there is so called defeat, as referenced by what Baba is saying, people in the world, in the connection of Brahman family, or anyone for that matter, but that defeat is not defeat. Interesting. This is because Baba, I'm referring Baba's word. This is because sometimes those who observe or do something have a misunderstanding. Souls who are humble, who are constructive, and who always say Haji can sometimes, due to a misunderstanding, appear to be defeated, and others would see that as a defeat. when in reality it is their victory. However, at that time, because of the opinion of others or because of the atmosphere, you yourself must not change from having faith in your intellect and to start having doubts. I don't know whether this is victory or defeat. Do not have these doubts, but keep your faith firm. Then, whatever others are today calling defeat, they will tomorrow offer you flowers of Vava. Hmm? So, Baba has extended this faith definition while we face different situations. Okay, so in a normal parlance, for example, now that we are reading Murli or we might talk to each other, of course, our stages are good and we might experience having faith in Baba and everything, Brahma, Brahman family, and the self. But when it comes to we facing different situations, so in spite of we using what Baba tells us to, for example, being humble, being constructive, telling Haji, and due to these acts, sometimes people may misunderstand us having defeated, or they might seem to over empower us, they might speak to us rudely, and we might think that, oh, we have not succeeded in that situation. That situation has empowered us. And if we come into those feelings, then probably we are not victorious. But if we come into the influence of those situations, that means we have lost faith. Hmm? And another thing which Baba is mentioning here in the same lines is that what people or what is a generic understanding of one not having victory or failure may not be the same definition which Baba would carry or which we should carry. So that is why Baba is telling, do not have these doubts but keep your faith firm. Then whatever others are today calling defeat, they will tomorrow offer you flowers of Baba. Victorious souls will never have any confusion in their minds about the actions they themselves carry out. Hmm? This is another aspect. So the first aspect Baba elaborated on the defeat, on what others tell and what we understand. This aspect Baba tells that whatever actions we perform, we will have complete clarity. There won't be any confusion in our minds as to whether they are right or wrong. The opinion of others is something else. Some people would say that you are right, and others would say that you are wrong. But you must have the firm faith in your mind that you are victorious. Along with having faith in the Father, you also need to have faith in yourself. This is because the mind, that is the power of thought of a soul whose intellect has faith, that is, one who is victorious, is always clean. Hmm? So, with Baba, Baba is mentioning that we should have faith in ourselves. And what does that mean? That those souls will always, the intellect will always be clean. The decision as to whether it is yes or no for something for the self or for others will be made very easily. It will be truthful and clear. This is why there will be no confusion of I don't know. The sign of victorious jewels whose intellects have faith that because of making a truthful decision, they would not have the slightest confusion in their minds. They would always be in pleasure. There would be waves of happiness, even if the circumstances are like fire. For such a soul, that test of fire would give that soul the happiness of victory because he will be victorious in the test. Hmm. So, what are the traits Baba mentioning here in this paragraph? First, he told clean. One who is victorious is always clean in the decisions. Then he's telling truthful and clear. Hmm? Truthful decisions. They not having any confusion in their minds. Then he's mentioning waves of happiness. Hmm? In spite of there being circumstances like fire, that test of fire would give that soul the happiness of victory because he will be victorious in the test. Even now, when someone has victory about something in a worldly way, they celebrate that in happiness. They laugh, dance, and applaud. That is a sign of happiness. Someone whose intellect has faith will never experience himself to be alone in any task. Hmm? Another trait Baba is mentioning someone whose intellect has faith will never experience himself to be alone in any task. Even if everyone is on one side and he is alone on the other side, even if the majority is on the other side and the victorious jewel is alone, he doesn't consider himself to be alone, but considers the Father to be with him, and that is why an unlimited army is nothing in front of the Father. Hmm. You all must be recalling that episode of Mahabharata. Akshoni Sena, 33 Koti Akshoni Sena of Shri Krishna. He gave it to Duryodhana, and Arjun was just happy even if he had Shri Krishna with him because he knew that if he has truth in his side, no matter even if the army is of the Shri Krishna of Yadavas, but he will never get defeated. So this is what has been even referenced in Bhakti, I believe. So let us repeat this again. Even if everyone is on one side and he is alone on the other side, even if the majority is in the other side and the victorious jewel is alone, he doesn't consider himself to be alone because but considers the Father to be with him, and that is why an unlimited army is nothing in front of the Father. Where the Father is, the whole world is in the Father. A seed has the whole tree within it. A victorious jewel whose intellect has faith would always consider himself to have some support. He has the natural experience of the bestower who gives support being with him. It isn't that he would go in front of the father when a problem arises and say, Baba, you are with me, are you not? You are my helper, are you not? Now I have you alone. He would not take selfish support. You are with me. Are you not? You are this. Are you not? What does all of this mean? Is that faith? You are then reminding the Father that He is your support. One whose intellect has faith can never have such thoughts. He would not have the slightest experience of thoughts such as being without support or of being alone. Because of being victorious due to his intellect, having faith, he would constantly dance in happiness. He would never be caught up in waves of being upset or sad, or of having any temporary or limited disinterest. Sometimes, when there is a strong attack of Maya, there is also limited disinterest. However, that is limited temporary disinterest. It is not unlimited disinterest for all time. That is the attitude of disinterest arising out of compulsion. That is the attitude of disinterest arising out of compulsion. That is why you say at that time, it is better that I leave this. I have disinterest in it. Hmm, very practical statements Baba mentioning. And sometimes if some task is too overwhelming for us or we simply don't enjoy or it becomes a lot for us or there could be any other reason, we might say that it is better that I leave this. I have disinterest in it. So even, mentioning that or having that feeling is basically getting us down from that unlimited happiness or the victory which we carry with ourselves. What Baba says then, let me leave service, let me leave this. This is, there is disinterest. But but it is not unlimited. A victorious jewel will always experience victory in defeat and victory in victory. So for example, just recall, I'm just going away from Murli for a second. So for example, if something we face some situation and we had a bad experience. So instead of we telling that, oh, this is something which was not interesting and something which I didn't like, the victorious soul might have these things that, oh, this is a different experience which I had. Good that it came to me. Now I'll move on for something different. So even that bitter experience, a victorious soul might turn out that into victory by telling that, oh, this gave me a wonderful lesson, or that was a different experience I got, and then moving on rather than complaining or having a feeling that, oh, why did this come, or I might not want this. This can be applied in different scenarios. Maybe at the time of we discussing, you all can share your experiences. How would you handle such situations? What creative thoughts you bring about while we experience those failures, which worldly people call, but we have a different perspective or different approach to handle those as victorious souls, not being shown as disinterest both externally and internally. So let us come back to the Murli. A victorious jewel will always experience victory in defeat and victory in victory. हार में भी जीत और जीत में भी जीत. Interesting. मतलब हारना है ही नहीं उन्हें. To have limited disinterest means to step aside. They use the term disinterest, but in fact, there is just stepping aside. Hmm? This is another perspective Baba is mentioning. Okay, I had enough of this. Now let me step aside. So, a victorious jewel would never step away from any task, problem, or person, but whilst carrying out every act, whilst facing everything and being cooperative, he would have an attitude of unlimited disinterest, which will be for all time. Now, see, Baba has mentioned this disinterest in a different sense, like Nyara and Pyara, which we say. So, he's mentioning that he would have an attitude of unlimited disinterest, which will be for all time. A victorious jewel whose intellect has faith would never speak of his victory. He would never complain to others. Did you see? I was right. Was I not? Again, so Baba is mentioning that it doesn't, that victorious jewel will not even indulge into ego aspect. That, oh, I am always right. Baba has told me that I am victorious soul. That means whatever I do is right, and start claiming that to others in form of any complaint. So Baba is even covering that aspect of this victorious side so that we don't become egoistic. देह अभिमान नहीं आ जाए हमें. So what Baba is mentioning, I quote, a victorious jewel whose intellect has faith will never speak of his victory. He would never complain to others. Did you see? I was right. Was I not? To complain in this way or to speak about this is a sign of being empty. Something empty rattles a lot. The fuller something is, the less it rattles. वो जो बोलते हैं ना, अध अध भर अ, मटकी छलकत जाए. भरी हुई मटकी will never rattle. The water will never spill out or not never cause a sound. So a victorious jewel will increase the courage of others. He would not try to put someone down because a victorious jewel is master bestower of support. Hmm. Another Baba is giving. So these are beautiful signs which Baba is mentioning. He's telling that they would also. So earlier Baba mentioned about we having self having facing the situation. But having said that, he's telling he would the those souls will never put others down because he is a victorious soul or a master bestower of support, the same as the Father. He is one who uplifts those who have fallen down. Someone whose intellect has faith always remains distinct from any waste, whether they are waste thoughts, words, or actions. To step away from waste means to be victorious. It is because of waste that there is sometimes victory and sometimes defeat. If waste has ended, then defeat has ended. To finish all waste is a sign of being a victorious jewel. So now check. Do I experience the sign of being a victorious jewel whose intellect has faith? You all said that your intellects have faith. You speak the truth. However, It is one thing for your intellect to have faith to the extent of knowing and accepting. It is another thing to live by that. All of you believe that you have found God and that you now belong to God. To know and accept is same thing. However, you become number wise in living by it. So you are all fine when it comes to knowing and accepting. But then the third stage is of knowing, accepting, and then living by it. Hmm? So probably this can be also related to we having stages of faith, but Baba mentions that faith is always 100%. But just by knowing and accepting is not enough. The third stage is living by it. Let the practical signs of having faith and victory be visible in every action. So, getting it visible into every action is living by it. There is a difference in this, and that is why you become number wise. Do you understand why number wise are created? This is called becoming a conqueror of attachment. Hmm? So we'll pause here. When even Baba says the definition of being a conqueror of attachment is very deep, Baba will let you know about that at some other time. For your intellect to have faith is a step on the ladder of being a conqueror of attachment. Okay, so let's pause here. We will read the rest, Murli, tomorrow. Let us reflect for a minute and then we'll start sharing. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Yes, we can start sharing now.
Shanti Prafulbai.
Yes, sister.
I think I really would love to reread this Murli in Hindi because, the words are so emphasizing. I like that word Nishchay, Vijay, and when Bab Dada mentions it, I just find a kind of a forceful emotion entering my intellect. I really was thinking I should go back to the Hindi Murli and read it alongside. Now, here, if you see, Baba has mentioned faith, intellect, victory, and Ratan, that is jewels. So I was trying to bring about relation between all this. See, this faith is such a word, like even they say faith, you can see the invisible, you can believe in the incredible, and you can also achieve the impossible. Faith can move mountains, but faith can move mountains, but you should be unshakable and immovable in faith. Such kind of nischay means then you can be nischit and you can be nischint. Now, two aspects Baba has given, one father, one beloved. I think that itself is the main thing of faith for us. There's only one father, nothing else. Somebody cannot can say, isn't this your father? No, 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 that's not. Only this is the father. Because I can see the invisible in that. That fate is there. And I belong. So when I belong only to that one, and I cannot belong to anyone else, I just say, is there anyone else who is claiming, hey, you're mine? No. So when such a kind is there, what a question Baba has asked. When each one of you have that question, why then is there 808 and 16,000? I was saying, Baba, I should ask you I should ask you the question because I never had the faith that you're not there. I can never even think, Baba, are you there? Are you there? Why should I ask? Instead, as a right, I say, Baba, you better be there. Such kind of faith I have that you cannot leave me. Even if I leave you, you're going to pull me by the hair and you're going to take me. So even I was thinking, why then, Baba? Why you are asking us a question that there is a difference? I never had the think that you're going to leave me. The world may say so much. People may say, okay, देखो सब मान लिया है इसने कितने मान लिया है शायद he's taking defeat over there instead of saying victory. No, I don't. It's not, my faith is not based जो औरों क्या सोचता है. Then I myself was asking Baba the question. Baba, I think this question you have we have to ask you why there is a difference. That was what I don't know, possibly because the faith is so unflinching in us. I was thinking, why at all is that number? I've never thought about this number 108 and all, but today after reading this Murli, I was just thinking, yes, Baba has to give us an answer. He just ends it in a very mild way. You accept, but you don't live. But I couldn't understand that aspect. What is that called? Jana, mana, but chalna. So this is what I felt when I was thinking. I said, Baba, I think I'm going to ask you the question. When in my heart, I have such unflinching faith. Why? Why the number? Why my chalna was stopped? Om Shanti.
Wonderful. So good because generally for us we take a very narrow definition of faith of just we believe in Baba कि भगवान ही है वो, that's it. But Baba has broadened the definition, not just जानना and मानना but living. And what is living? That is where Baba has elaborated right from paragraph 1 that in every aspect we would be victorious, we would experience him, having faith in the self, having faith in him, and the different applications of faith. So beautifully has narrated, and that itself probably enhances his expectation or his definition of we being in faith. So wonderful. Yes, Bijit bhai, go ahead.
Yeah, so it's a beautiful thing, victory in defeat, when Baba says, even others think that you are defeated, right? So that may be a misunderstanding. Tomorrow, Baba says, tomorrow the same one will say, Wawa. So this actually go well when there is any sort of a, situation. At times, people may misunderstand that your intention or action, whatever it may be. So people might think when we don't react to that situation, right? So choose. They might think sometimes we know that silence works better than words, right? So choosing at silence in a conflict or in an argument situation, others may say that he lost or he doesn't have an answer for that. But sometimes in reality, right, we are saving a lot, right? Our energy, the relations, and our stage, we are able to maintain that. So that externally it might appear others that we have defeated there in that situation, but internally we are becoming victorious there, right? So I was trying to relate that. So here, defeated, but we are actually, the defeat is not defeat, it's actually victorious. Yeah. Om Shanti.
Yeah, very beautifully narrated. Mm, I can share a couple of examples. Sometimes if we get physically ill, some people might say, "Oh, you have Baba with you. You always do meditation, but still you are getting ill. Doesn't your Baba support you?" Or if we get any financial loss, maybe losing job or maybe anything it could be, immediately people might think that, oh, and they then correlate that you following so much spirituality, and that is where then some might get into the clutches that, oh, why Baba didn't help me, why did this happen, and then that confusion makes a person defeated, and we come into the same terms of agreement which others relate. So these are the times when we should really check that, okay, maybe for the world this is a defeat, but what is it for me? What is the true victory for me? Will these small things does this small things really matter me when I see my 5,000 years cycle, when I see myself as what my father sees me? So when we ask these questions to ourselves, then those things will just look penny to us. They might not even matter. Even if that could be we getting ill or we meeting up with accident. I remember, I think last Rakiban must be knowing this, but I think I met with an accident few months back, and there were yes, Sanjay bhai. You can also share. I'll just complete. So, mm, yeah, there was suddenly some people gave that thought. Oh, you uh, following Brahma Kumaris. Why didn't Baba protect you? This and that. So those thoughts immediately have emerged, and I was like, oh, probably I wanted to enhance my yoga. Baba gave me uh, uh, good opportunity to remember him, and probably I'm getting good rest. So this is an interesting scene in the drama, and those thoughts really made me feel a victory, not in terms of announcing to others, but for myself, that these things are helping me coming more closer to Baba, remembering Baba, aspiring some books which I wanted to read, which otherwise I don't get time. But while in being hospital, I can find time. I can serve the patients over there. Otherwise, I wouldn't have come. So all these opportunities I could see because those victorious thoughts came to me. But for the others, maybe for outsiders, it was just a feeling that, Arey, why did this happen to him? He's such a nice guy. बेचारा हो गया, लग गया उसको, ये हो गया, वो हो गया. So, definitions of this victory would be very different for us and for what others feel. So, wow, yes, Baba has very nicely mentioned this. Yes, over to you, Sanjay Bhai. You were mentioning something.
Om Shanti. Wonderful, Murli. Because that what is my faith also, what Baba is telling today. That if we have faith in Baba, and faith is a very big thing, not a small thing. Faith. F means free from all encumbrances, free from all negativities. And when you are free from all negativities, then A, you will be adorned with all divine virtues. And after adorning all divine virtues, I, you start going for introspection than to inspection. You not see the fault of others, but you try to introspect about yourself. And then T is there will be transformation within you. And H, then you'll become honest. And that type of person who has got this type of faith which Baba wants can never, वो हार नहीं सकता. In bhakti also, they put a har in the भगवान के गले में हार डालते हैं. That means हार डालना मतलब क्या हुआ, कभी जिंदगी में हार नहीं पाएगा वो। लेकिन हियर इन प्रैक्टिकली वी पुट आवर हैंड्स एज गार्लैंड टू ऑलमाइटी श्री बाबा, and then how can we have har in our life? What Baba is telling, and Baba is telling that you may feel that तुम हार गए हो, लेकिन तुम हार नहीं सकते। It depends upon your stage. जैसी तुम्हारी स्थिति होगी वैसा तुमको महसूस होगा। लेकिन above all the master says that तुमको महसूस हो सकता है कि तुम हार गए हो क्योंकि तुम्हारी स्टेज उस समय अच्छी नहीं है। लेकिन मैं जानता हूं, आई एम द मास्टर, आई नो, द डॉक्टर नोज कि तुम्हारे लिए अच्छा हुआ है, बट पेशेंट को थोड़ा दर्द महसूस होता है क्योंकि उसकी स्टेज ठीक नहीं है, इसलिए उसको लगता है हार गया है। कभी कभी डॉक्टर डॉक्टर दवा देता है, पेशेंट को ज्यादा दर्द होता है, लेकिन डॉक्टर सेज दैट नो, भले आपको दर्द हो रहा है लेकिन आपका बहुत इंप्रूवमेंट हुआ है। आई नो आई एम द डॉक्टर। सो बाबा इज टेलिंग, एंड व्हाट इज द स्टेज? द स्टेज इज एज फॉर सोल कॉन्शियस। आर वी इन सोल कॉन्शियस स्टेट? But when we are in body conscious state, you will find that even Jeet as Har, and when you are soul conscious, you will find that Har also as Jeet. And T is for transformation. As T is self transformation, and A is self transformation by adorning. A is adorning divine virtues, and G becoming Gyan Sarup, and E will be ejected from the world, for the world of body consciousness that Baba wants to be eject ourselves from body consciousness. Then you will realize that तुम हारे नहीं हो, तुम जीते हो, और उस हार में भी तुम्हें जीत दिखाई देगी। तो but I will give a very good example for that. You must have known for सुदामा। सुदामा के बारे में कहते हैं, विद्वान तो थे लेकिन बड़े निर्धन थे, खाने के लिए दाने लाले पड़े थे। पीपल यूज्ड टू से कैसा ब्राह्मण है, तो अपनी जिंदगी से हार गया है। लेकिन Sudama was happy from within. Yes. And he used to remember God. And what happened? भगवान के पास गया, and then God gave him all the things which he, जो फिर दुनिया उसे सब कुछ प्राप्त हो गया। तो पहले वही लोग जो कहते थे निर्धन ब्राह्मण है, निर्धन ब्राह्मण है, लेकिन जब भगवान के पास पहुंचे तो भगवान को अपने सखा के रूप में याद करता था। ही यूज्ड टू रिमेंबर गॉड एज हिज फ्रेंड, सखा। And when he met that Sakha, and that Sakha gave him so much, so much, so much, that he became very wealthy. And the same people, they were telling that he har gaya, har gaya. The same people used to say, Vah Sudama, Vah, tum to kya ban gaye. That is, due to that only Baba is called Garib Nawaz. So, people may think that we are in loss. But see, when we are really loyal to Baba, and in loss, see the word loss. If you are if you are loyal to Baba, if you are lawful to Baba, if you are loveful to Baba, and O, if you are obedient to Baba, then S is sure and S is success. That is LOSS. If you are loyal to Baba, lawful to Baba, loveful to Baba, and lawful to Baba, and if you are obedient to Baba, then S is sure and S is success. हार तो हो ही नहीं सकता है। It may seem because our stage is of not that high. But the master says, and master is, who is the master? Satyam Shivam Sundaram. वो सत्य बोलता है, वो सत्य ही बोलता है, सत्य के अलावा कुछ नहीं बोलता। सुंदर बोलता है और हमारे लिए कल्याणकारी बोलता है कि तुम्हारे इस हार में भी जीत है। लेटर ऑन यू रियलाइज। कभी
Yes.
कभी क्या होता है, कभी कभी क्या होता है कि हमको कुछ नुकसान हो जाता है। जैसे एक कहानी है, राजा की अंगुली कट गई, तो बोला मेरा अंगुली कट गया, मेरा अंगुली कट गया। एंड आफ्टर दैट व्हेन ही वेंट टू द जंगल ड्यू टू सम कंडीशन, और देयर वहां पर लोग नर बलि दे रहे थे, एंड ही वाज कॉट। एंड देन दे रियलाइज दैट इसके तो हाथ कटे हुए, अंग भंग को बलि नहीं दी जा सकती। देन ही सेड, नहीं नहीं, जाओ जाओ, तुम्हारा नहीं हो सकता है, तुम्हारा बलि नहीं देंगे। देन ही रियलाइज, मेरे जो हाथ कटा था ना उसमें भी कल्याण है। एंड दिस इज द वंडरफुल पार्ट ऑफ संगम योग, कि तुम्हारे हर चीज में कल्याण है। To that only Baba says, तुम्हारे हार में भी जीत है. Om Shanti.
While listening to all the conversation that's been happening from last 5-7 minutes, there's only one thing which I can summarize is everything that happens in each and every moment is benevolent. Now, that is possible when we are churning knowledge that Baba has given it to us. So just standing in the place of everything is okay, it's benevolent, at every moment is an axis, and that strengthens our faith ongoingly. Om Shanti.
Wonderful. Thanks, Sanjay Bhai. You are a master of so many acronyms, and also both the examples which you mentioned, Sudama and that king. Wonderful. Any closing remarks, Girja Ben, before we move on to meditation?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was just thinking, see, as I wrote, there's a very famous song which always of Rajesh Khanna है ना, दुनिया में लोग कुछ कहेंगे, कहना तो लोगों का काम या बेकार बातों. See, even if I had to go for that Narbali, even if it was sacrifice, so what? Because that one sentence which Baba has mentioned in the Murli, Are, I'm not alone. I have the world with me. मेरे संसार मेरा साथ है. And like for the tree, I have with the seed. So even if see, so when a girl gets married and the whole family leave her, she says, "So what? I'm with the one whom I love. Let everyone think I'm gone." They'll say, "Yeah." And you gave us an example of being ill, Praful Bhai. See, it's not even me being ill. Even if your children become ill, even if you lose in business, they say, "Kya hai? Dekho Brahma Kumari mein jaane ke baad." And we also sometimes feel, we lose more after becoming a Brahmin. But I think that is not faith. That, but that is just a little bit dagmagana, dagmagana. But Baba cannot take that to be that we have lost faith and put us below 108 and all. That was also a point I was telling Baba. Little dagmaga will be there when something happens to people close to you or when something else. But how can you call that Baba that our niche is not equal to this? I don't know. I was just thinking, probably I was trying to put Baba in the witness stand, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, you're right. But then, ultimately, what Baba wants us to be that constant stage. For us, maybe Dagabagana little will be okay at some points of time. That should not be considered that seriously. But for Baba, he wants all his children to be completely clean, 100% available. I know that sounds to be ambitious, but then that is why we have that 800 and 16108. And a teacher would always want all the students to become as him or maybe get perfect thing. So it is now on to us how much we carry on to those. But I understand the way you're coming from. Ki things may happen. We might not always remember Baba. We might not always have that. But then, yeah, we are all on a journey, and let's see how much we can live up to what he is expecting. And if he's telling, then things would really work out. It is not that he's telling something too abstract. We have good examples in Yagya. We have seniors. So, but yeah, I got your point where you're coming from. That is perfectly all right, I believe. But let's see. Okay, so let's move on to closing meditation. Let us quickly tell Baba about all the tasks which we will be doing.
Praful Bhai, I want to add one line, if time permits. Only one line.
हाँ हाँ बोलो बोलो.
Is that, see, बाबा कहते हैं ना खुद पर विश्वास. खुदा word is खुदा, खुद जोड़ आ. That is, if we are आज्ञाकारी to खुदा, there cannot be a case हम लोग हार नहीं सकते. But condition is that आज्ञाकारी to खुदा. We said ना कि बाबा की श्रीमत पर चलोगे तो हार नहीं हो सकती. That what I understood from today's Murli. That खुद जोड़ आ मतलब खुदा से आज्ञाकारी हो जाओ तो खुदा तुम्हारे साथ है, और जब तुम्हारे साथ खुदा है तो हाथ खुदा वाला नहीं उठता है.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you.
Amazing. Thanks. So let us go to Baba and let us quickly share with him what all I have planned for today. And while I share with him my to do list for the day, I also share with him that these tasks could go tricky, may it be conversations, may it be quantum of work, may it be anything. But I have faith in myself. I know that you are with me, and it is not just knowing, I am living example of faith. And because of that, Baba, I will be victorious in all those tasks. Let me celebrate today a victorious day. I know that next door even Maya is hearing me, and she might do some homework to give me more tricky papers, but I know that I am always victorious. Visualize Baba blessing us, and we are back in our costume, ready for a victorious day. Thank you. Thank you everyone for joining. Have a great day. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you to Baba. Thank you, Profil Bhai.